Cardboard towers by the window, tape pulled slow like peeling years. Between winter coats and tangled cords, a corner of paper bruised with time. Neon letters half worn thin, Friday live and home day, 7 p.m. The ink smells faintly of old smoke, basement air and spilled beer foam. 20 folded chairs in crooked rows, a borrowed amp with a nervous hum. I was 22 and thrifted denim, fingers shaking on a second-hand Strat, counting sticks, 1, 2, 3. Heartbeat louder than the snare. Your face is blurred in amber light, close enough to see you breathe. When I sang into that silver mic, I thought the future leaned toward me. We swore the stage was only step one, van tours, vinyl sleeves, our names in print. The ceiling pipe strip steady rhythm, like time keeping quiet hints. I almost threw you in the trash tonight. Faded concert poster, fragile as a lie. But the tape in my hand felt heavier than regret, like a chord I never let resolve. We were loud in a room of 20 souls, and that was bigger than it seemed. Faded concert poster on my wall. You're not a ghost, you're a seed. Now my guitar sleeps beside the couch, strings softened by weekday dust. I play on Sundays after dishes while rice steams in the kitchen light. No more basement countdowns, just neighbors walking dogs upstairs. My calluses have thinned to whispers, emails blur where spotlights were. I pass the club and home days sometimes. It's a cafe with white clean walls, no flyers layered thick like scales, no kick drum leaking through the door. I fold a poster once then twice, aim for the kitchen bin, but my hands remember that spring night, how the crowd leaned in. Dreams don't vanish in the daylight, they change their tuning, shift their key. What once was feedback, wild and bright, now hums in quiet harmony. The girl beneath that basement bulb still counts in 4 inside my chest. She doesn't ask for sold-out halls, just somewhere honest to rest. So I smooth the creases carefully, thumb along each wrinkled seam, tape it to a sunlit wall, let it breathe inside this new scene. I almost threw you in the trash tonight. Faded concert posted trembling in my hands, but some refrains don't beg for stadium lights. They bloom in smaller rooms, and instead we were loud in a room of 20 souls, and that was more than enough for me. Faded concert poster on my wall. You're not what I lost, you're what I've grown to be. Cardboard boxes by the window, evening settling warm and slow. this new apartment silence, a gentle rhythm under the glow. I tune my guitar by the window. City lights flicker soft and small. Spring at 22, still breathing from a faded square upon my wall. Steam rising in a quiet room, midnight stitch with April bloom. Iron sighs across the sleeve, a silver line of heat, hanger swaying on the door. Tap a careful beat, the suit lies smooth upon the bed. Dark is coming dawn, threads align like tiny roads I'm about to walk upon. In the mirror stands a girl borrowed from a dream. Hair pinned back, uncertain smile seems held at the seam. On the chair, the box half open. Shoes my mother chose, leather stiff as early spring. Still learning how to bend and close. YouTube glowing on my phone, simple knot and under 2. 5 attempts and counting slow. Loop and pull it through. Tie my first necktie under bedroom light. Fingers trembling at the edge of tomorrow night. Tie my first necktie, breathing in and slow. If I pull the knot just right, maybe I will grow. Drawer slides with wooden groan, paper dust and time. A diary with folded spine and ink that used to shine to me at 30 on the page, written round and wide. 17 with glitter pens and galaxies inside. She wrote of cities, taller heels, a name on office doors. Did she picture this small room, these slightly scuffed wood floors? I trace the curve of younger loops, feel the faded press. The girl who feared tomorrow's weight would laugh at this soft mess. Outside the window, streetlight gold catches drifting bloom. Petals turning in the dark like snow that smells of June. Tie my first necktie under blossom skies. Petals falling just like doubts from 17-year-old eyes. Tie my first necktie, heartbeat steady low. If I step into the dawn, she will never know how far we've come. It's just slightly crooked still, but it holds its place. Not every line must straighten out to frame a growing face. The shoes are stiff, the night is deep, the iron's finally still. Cherry blossoms brush the glass like quiet, soft goodwill. 17 is in my hands, 30 at the door. Both of us in borrowed light on this wooden floor. I tie the silk a little firm, feel it rest against my chest. Not a rope to pull me tight, but a ribbon from my past. Tie my first necktie, morning almost new. Steam has faded from the air, but courage lingers to tie my first necktie. Streetlight turning pale. When I turn the handle slow, I'll carry every tale. Tie
Midnight resting on the railing, streetlight blinking down below.
First Friday of March, 12 past the hour. Balcony barely wide for two. A single lamp spills honeyed light across the chipped white floor.
The city hums in muffled tones, buses sigh at empty stops. I set the kettle down between us, steam rising like a quiet ghost.
Chamomile and peppermint circle in porcelain moons. I wrap my hands around the wharf as if it might forgive the day.
You say you missed a simple line, sent an email missing one small word. I not remembering my own, a careless tone that lingered wrong. The
Streetlight flickers once again like it's thinking what to say. A guitar rests against your knee, waiting for our breath to change.
Balcony herbal tea, stay with us tonight.
In this amber fragile light,
let the chords fall soft and slow,
like steam that curls and lets things go.
No crowded room, no audience,
just two shadows and a tune.
Balcony herbal tea,
healing underneath the moon.
You start to strum a tender line, fingers careful on the strings. The melody moves through the dark like footsteps over wooden floors.
I watch the frets beneath your hands, silver wires catching light. Each note lands upon my skin, cool as March's midnight air.
I tell you, my voice went sharp in a room too bright at noon.
How silence after felt too loud, like plates not cleared away.
I laughed, got softer than before, tracing circles on my cup. The tea has cooled, but in my chest something loosens petal by petal. The rhythm of the passing cars blends into the gentle beat.
Your harmony meets mine halfway, two lines finally complete. Balcony herbal tea,
hold us in your glow,
where the quiet rivers flow
through the spaces words once bruised, now tuned and carefully used.
If tomorrow asks again
for steadier hands at noon,
balcony herbal tea will remember this slow tune. The steam has thinned into the air, but warmth remains in porcelain.
The streetlight steadies, no more flicker, as if it found its rhythm too.
Your chord bends slightly out of key.
You smile and let it settle true.
Mistakes don't vanish in the night, they soften at the seams. In the hush between two heartbeats, we mend them into dreams.
Our voices cross like balcony rails, separate but side by side, underneath this patient sky.
Nothing here to hide. Balcony herbal tea,
stay a little more
by this half-closed midnight door.
Let the final chord ring clear, dry the edges of our fear. When the lamp clicks off at last and we
step back into June. Balcony herbal
it folded into calm.
Balcony herbal tea, still warm at the core. Saw a final crackle in the corner, 55 beads of dust and light. Second floor, the window breathing, Thursday afternoon in March. Rows of faded spines lean closer, poems sleeping under amber stains. I open one. A thin cloud of paper dust rises like a shy confession. 10 springs ago, your sleeve brushed mine right here. Our knees touching under the wooden table. Highlighters bleeding pale yellow suns and in a borrowed lines. Outside, the cherry branches were only sketches against the sky. And you read aloud, voice low as turning pages, each word folding into my coat pocket. Steam from our paper cups curled between us like a quiet promise, warm enough to blur the edge of goodbye we didn't see. At the bookstore window, time lays its head on my shoulder, pink buds trembling on the edge of blue. Sunlight spills across the margins of your name, and I trace it like it's still new. At the bookstore window, past and present overlap, two shadows in the same soft room. Your laughter caught in the dust-lit air, floating, floating in June color gloom. Floating in June color gloom. Now the chair across from me holds only a folded scarf of light. Coffee cool and untouched, its surface trembling with every bus that passes outside. The cherry tree wears small pink commas along its arms, pauses before a sentence. It might not finish. I run my finger over the den you carved in the table edge, a tiny crescent moon, still hiding splinters of your impatience. Pages whisper when I turn them, not your voice, just a ceiling fan ticking like a careful clock, afraid to interrupt. The dust tastes faintly bitter, like words we swallowed back then, and the light on my hands feels warmer than it should. At the bookstore window, time lays its head on my shoulder, pink buds breaking through the blue. Sunlight spills across the margins of your name, and this time I let it bloom. At the bookstore window, past and present intertwine, like fingers we once knew. Your absence folded in the paper air, still breathing something true. If I close my eyes, the final crackle turns to your laughter, the lo-fi rhythm to your heartbeat under my ear. This room is a pressed flower, fragile, flattened, kept between chapters of who we were. Maybe love is only this, a second floor window, a tree about to open, and a girl learning how to sit with the light alone. At the bookstore window, time rests quiet on my shoulder, pink petals finally fall. Sunlight settles in the empty chair, no longer asking of dust and light. Second floor, the window breathing. Thursday afternoon in March.
Muted guitar over a wheel, soft tape hiss in the dark. 5 a.m. breathing silver along the river's edge. Last year in mid-March, we met where the bike path curves. Your shoelaces double knotted, hair tucked under a borrowed cap. Street lamps trembled on the black skin of the hand, each ripple breaking the light into loose coins of gold. You raced ahead laughing, standing on your pedals, your shadow long and reckless on the pale concrete. Cold air tasted like metal and mint, our words turning white as we spoke them, vanishing behind us. In my ear, a cracked indie song, drum soft as a second heartbeat, your voice sinking with the rhythm like it had always lived there. Dawn, bicycle and seagulls crying over water, we rode into a sky still half asleep. Your silhouette stitched to mine, in motion to a thin lines along the river seemed. On bicycle and seagulls calling our names, wings cutting through the blue, the morning opening like a quiet door, and we slipped through. Now it's mid-March again, same path, same hour, but only one set of tires humming over the bridge joints. The air presses colder against my unguarded cheeks, and the river keeps its secrets under sheets of early light. A convenience store coffee burns slightly bitter on my tongue, steam rising past my chin like a small unfinished prayer. Your absence right in the empty lane beside me, keeping pace without a sound, shadow without a weight. In my ear, another indie track, guitar notes spaced like footsteps, the rhythm steady as my breathing, steady as letting go. Dawn, bicycle and seagulls crying over water, this time I ride alone. Your silhouette flickers in the glass towers, then fades into the stone. Dawn, bicycle and seagulls tracing circles, white arcs in widening light, the morning opening just the same, even without you in sight. Pedal chain and quiet tide, a small orchestra of moving parts, lo-fi drums blend with gulls' sharp cries, wind fretting through the spokes. The east begins to bloom, peach and pale tangerine, and I realize the road never promised to keep us two. Maybe love is like this river, running whether we ride beside it or not, reflecting whoever leans close enough to see their face in motion. Dark bicycle and seagulls crying over water, I ride into the waking day, your shadow soft inside my memory, no longer in my twisted guitar, steady wheel, the river turning gold. 5 a.m. dissolves behind me, spring unfolding in the cold.
Soft crackle from the needle drop, dust dancing in a yellow bulb. 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, breathing through John No Street. 5 springs ago I stood by the jazz section, pretending to choose when you reached for the same worn sleeve, corners bent like folded letters. The cover was washed and faded blue, sun bleached at the edges, and you smiled saying analog sounds warmer in March. We sat on the sagging sofa in the corner, vinyl spinning slow as honey, teacups warm in our palms, steam curling between shy sentences. Your laughter skipped like a needle over dust and settled deep in the groove of that first song. The beat was soft, almost careless, lo-fi drums tapping at our knees, and outside the alley flickered with neon and early blossoms. Vinyl at the record shop, turning like our shadows, circles inside circles of light. Your voice melted into the rhythm, gentle as the falling night. Vinyl at the record shop, warm against my fingers, every crackle saying your name. The world reduced to a spinning black horizon and a love we couldn't frame. Now it's Wednesday again, 7 p.m. caught in the same amber glow. I pull that album from the shelf, its spine softer than before. The owner nods without a word, needle lowering with steady hands, and the first chord blooms like a memory unsealed. Then I laugh I couldn't frame. The sofa still dips in the middle, fabric frayed where we once leaned close, but only my coat rests there now, creased in quiet folds. I trace the thin scratches we made without knowing, each one a silver line across the dark. Tea steams beside me once more, cinnamon rising in the air, but the cup across the table cools untouched. Vinyl at the record shop, turning without hesitation, circles that outlive our hands. Your laughter flickers in the hi-hats, echoing through these narrow stands. Vinyl at the record shop, steady as the seasons, warmth pressed into sound. Even if the seat beside me never makes a single sound. Kick drum, soft and patient, heartbeat under worn out chords, guitar notes drifting like dust through shafts of evening gold. Maybe we were only a track on side A, bright, a little reckless, meant to fade before the flip. Still the groove remembers memories, every touch of skin and sleeve, and the silence between the crackles feels almost like belief. Vinyl at the record shop, turning into memories, circles widening in my chest. Your voice no longer breaks the surface, but the music does the rest. Vinyl at the record shop, glowing in the twilight, soft as a closing door. I let the needle lift in silence and love the song once more. Soft crackle as the record slows, the alley humming low. Wednesday night in amber light, and the vinyl letting go. Soft guitar and open tuning, wind across a rooftop rail, ice clinking in a tall glass, moonlight pale and frail. 3 years ago in early spring, I sat right here with trembling hands, a sheet of paper pinned beneath a sweating glass of lemonade. Cherry petals drifted down, resting on unfinished lines. Your name written once, then crossed and written softer the next time. Buskers play below the hill, a distant sax in minor key, and every note felt like it knew the secret blooming inside me. The sun leaned warm upon my shoulders, ink bleeding slow and bright, my heart beat loud as footsteps climbing toward the light. Sugar on my tongue, citrus in the air, your shadow in each sentence I didn't dare to share. Lemonade on the rooftop, shining like confession, gold caught in a fragile glass, your name dissolving in the sunlight, floating as the clouds pass. Lemonade on the rooftop, trembling in my fingers, sweet and sharp and new. That Sunday tasted like forever, and every word was you. Now it's Sunday noon again, March folding into April sleeve. My phone awake inside my palm, screen brighter than the breeze. Laughter spills from down below, plates and silverware collide. A street musician strums a chord that opens something I can't hide. The sofa cushions have been changed, but the railings rest the same, and the table still tilts slightly left, like it remembers my name. I type a line, erase it twice, watch the cursor blink and wait. A modern kind of silence, hovering above sin. Ice melts into quiet rings, water tracing circles clear. The glass leaves marks upon the wood, like years that brought me here. Lemonade on the rooftop, shining without question, gold steady in the sun. Your name no longer on the screen, but it lingers softly spun. Lemonade on the rooftop, cool against my lips now, sweet with something new. This Sunday taste of letting go, and still it tastes of you. Wind lifts strands of memory, guitar hums with passing cars, lo-fi drums like distant footsteps walking under scattered stars. Maybe love is like this citrus, bright enough to make me wince, leaving sugar on the edges long after it's rinsed. I fold the unsent words inside me, not as ache but quiet proof that once my heart wrote fearless letters on a sunlit rooftop. Lemonade on the rooftop, glowing into afternoon, gold fading into blue. Your name rests light upon my smile, no longer breaking through. Lemonade on the rooftop, steady as the skyline, warm against my skin. This Sunday tastes of open skies, and I breathe it in. Ice melted, glass half empty, wind soft along the rail. Noon dissolves in tender light, and spring begins to sail. Soft kick, gentle snare, guitar warming up in the dark. 2 years ago, Friday at 11, we squeezed into this narrow room. Posters peeling on brick red walls, beer caps shining under moonlight lamps.
You pulled me closer to the corner where the speaker hummed like a secret. My coat brushing your denim sleeve, our fingers learning how to fit.
The band struck a silver chord, it rang through ribs and wooden floor. You shouted, "This is my favorite part," and the crowd became a single roar.
We sang off key without apology, laughing into the neon air. Your palm warm against my knuckles, as if the night could hold us there.
Guitar echoes in the corner, circling like a small heartbeat. Drums tapping slow and steady, our shadows at our feet. Guitar echoes in the corner, glowing through the crowd. Strings like threads of golden light, even when the room is louder. We find each other in the night. Guitar echoes in the corner, warm against our skin. Voices rising soft and true in the pulse of every chorus line. It's always me and you.
Now it's Friday, 11 again. Same brick wall, same low stage lights, but the space beside my shoulder holds only denim air.
From somewhere in the moving crowd, I almost hear your harmony, a phantom note above the bass that leans too close to me. Plastic cups stick to the floor, someone laughs behind my back. The singer's voice cracks gently on the bridge you used to track. I close my eyes for half a bar, feel your thumb trace circles slow, though my hand is wrapped around a drink already growing cold. Guitar echoes in the corner, softer than before, yet every chord still finds a place you once stood for. Guitar echoes in the corner, glowing through the crowd. Strings like threads of memory, even with the seat now empty. Your rhythm lives in me. Guitar echoes in the corner, steady as the drum. Voices rising, passing through in the warmth of every chorus line. distant thunder.
Hi-hats shimmer like city rain.
Lo-fi beats and trembling fingers blur the loss and blur the game.
Maybe love is just a reverb lingering after sound is gone.
Hiding in the wooden rafters, waiting for another song. In this crowded breathing moment,
Past and present intertwined,
your echo folds into my heartbeat, and somehow I feel fine. Guitar echoes in the corner, glowing through the crowd. Not a ghost, but gentle light. Even if we stand apart now, the song still holds us tight. Guitar echoes in the corner, warm against my skin. Voices rising clear and true in the hush between the final chords. It's always me and you.
The last chord hums along the bricks, soft footsteps toward the door.
But in the corner of this midnight room, the guitar echoes once more. Footsteps on a silver trail, mid-March Saturday, 5 a.m. in blue. Now I'm sent sleeping under shades of navy hue. Cherry buds are holding breath on every branch, like tiny fists around a secret chance. Cold air brushes whispers on my cheek. Earphones blow my strings like come stinking meek. A wooden melody with tender grain, spilling amber through the dark like rain. Street lights flicker tired and pale. My shadow stretches long along the trail, each chord falling soft and low like footprints in the frost below. And the sky is slowly turning pearl. Night loosens like a ribbon curl. Every note inside my chest taps a door I never pressed. Dawn trail melody, carry me softly through branches waiting to breathe. Dawn trail melody, color the morning with petals no one can see. If two heartbeats walk the same refrain, will the echo call our name? Up ahead, a rhythm in the mist. Rubber soles on gravel coexist. A stranger running through the gray, breath rising like a fading spray. As we pass beneath the budding trees, our shoulders brush the fragile breeze. From tangled wires, a chorus spills, the very same ascending thrill. For one small second, eyes align, a startled smile, a silent sign. The chorus blooming in its stride, the same refrain I hold inside. I turn around, just maybe air. Empty steps on stone lay bare, only petals not yet grown, and that bright chord still overthrown. Did the morning play a trick, or stitch our steps for just a flick? That single bar we both could hear still trembles crystal clear. Dawn trail melody, carry me softly through branches ready to break. Dawn trail melody, warm up the skyline for two wandering hearts awake. If two heartbeats share one song, maybe the road won't be so long. Final crackle in the air, city breathing quiet prayers. And some faces? What if trails have hidden graces? Every step a gentle plea, written in E minor softly. I let the rhythm lead my pace past every lamp, each empty space. If fate is just a looping line, it might rewind your step to mine. Dawn trail melody, carry me softly past blossoms ready to rise. Dawn trail melody, open the morning like light in half-opened eyes. If two heartbeats walk one theme, maybe we'll meet in between. Dawn trail melody, guiding back to me. Cherry buds begin to glow, pink breathing under apricot snow. I walk a little faster now, with sunrise resting on my brow. Ooh, same song, same trail, somewhere beyond the veil.
Sunday sunlight spilling slow, steam rising in a silver glow. Second week of March, 10 a.m. Forest path wearing shades of emerald hem. I'm on a wooden bench with a paper cup, latte warmth drifting up. Sunlight filters through the trees, dust and pollen flow with ease. Foam leaves a crescent on my lip, bittersweet on every sip. Pages of a book lie face down still, a quiet morning, soft and chill. Then from somewhere just to my right, 6 steel strings begin to light. A twist of pegs, a careful chord, notes like birds just newly soared. The air rearranged itself somehow around that simple wooden sound. Forest path, serenade, play it again, let it bloom between the trees. Forest path, serenade, stay for a while, float on the March time breeze. In the hush of a Sunday scene, you turn this bench into a stage unseen. Close, I lean into the sun, counting beats one by one. Your melody in amber waves, dancing on the light it saves. Footsteps pass but fade away, the world grows small where we both stay. Every chord a painted line, tracing shapes in open time. When the final note descends, it lingers where the silence bends. I clap before I think it through, morning startled into noon. You look up with a half-shy grin, tuck loose hair beneath your chin. While you're listening, soft and low, like you already know. Coffee steam between us climbs, carrying those fragile chimes. March air flickers bright and clear, as if it's leaning into here. Forest path, serenade, play it again, let it shimmer in the light. Forest path, serenade, don't fade away, not yet, not out of sight. In the hush of a Sunday gleam, you turn this morning into something keen. No ticket stubs, no crowded hall, just fallen leaves and sunlight's call. A private show for one and you.
Under skies of lucid blue, the latte cools beside my knee, but warmth moves differently in me. Each vibration clear and bright threads the day with golden light. If music's just a passing spark, why does it glow inside the park? Maybe some songs are meant to find two strangers at the perfect time. Forest pass, serenade, play it again, let it echo down the lane. Forest pass, serenade, stay in this glow like soft unending rain. The hush where our shadows meet, you turn this simple bench to heartbeat. Forest pass, serenade, make this march forever bright. Forest pass, serenade, make this march forever bright. Paper cup now empty light. Sun has climbed a little higher in the sky. We talk in chords and easy laughs, tracing maps on forest paths. Sunday lingers unafraid in the glow your music made. Forest paths, serenade.
Midnight leaning on the window glass, streetlight flickers breathing slow. First Friday in March, 12 on the clock. My room the size of a quiet sigh. One standing lamp painting amber circles on books I never finished. The radiator hums in low harmony with passing cars that never stop. I rest the guitar across my knees like an old friend who knows my weight. This morning's laughter in the office kitchen, coffee foam on a careless grin. I thought the day would hold together like buttons sewn in tight. But somewhere between I'm sorry and a file I sent too late, a tiny crack ran through the hours, thin as a broken string. So I press my fingers to the frets, let the wood remember me. Each note falling gently onto the floor of this small room. Midnight guitar melodies stay with me, curl around this quiet room like steam rising from a cooling cup, softening the edges of today. No one's listening, that's okay. Let the walls keep what I play in this slow and silver air. You're enough, my midnight melody. Outside the streetlight blinks again, a tired eye refusing sleep. Its pale glow spills across my curtains, drawing shadows shaped like bars. On the table, a cup of dark coffee, bitter trace against my tongue. The surface trembling when I move like thoughts I try to steady. I replay the moment in the hallway, my voice too sharp, too fast. The look that passed like winter wind between two half-closed doors. Now the room holds only echoes of words I can't recall. I tune the string I bent too far and let it find its place. My fingertips sting lightly from pressing down too hard. But in that tender pressure, something warm begins to bloom. Midnight guitar melody, hold me close, thread through this fragile gloom like lamplight pooling on the floor, gathering pieces I dropped at noon. No applause, no crowded room, just heartbeat keeping time in this slow and breathing dark. You met me, midnight melody. The clock ticks softer than before, almost afraid to move. I close my eyes and let the chords drift like dust in golden hue. Mistakes dissolve into the rhythm, not erased, just rearranged. Every dissonance resolving in a gentler, truer range. My shadow sways along the wall, tall and almost brave, as if the girl who stumbled today is still the one who plays. Midnight guitar melody, stay with me. Turn regret to harmony like steam fading into air, leaving warmth upon my hands. If tomorrow comes too soon, with its bright and fragile light, I'll remember in this room how I healed in midnight tune. Streetlight flickers one last time. Coffee cold but heart still warm. Guitar resting by my side. Midnight folded into song. Second Saturday, 2 a.m. The house breathing slow again. Kitchen light in a halo ring over the wooden table's grain. A glass of water, lemon slice, floating like a crescent moon. The refrigerator hums in D, a low and faithful harmony. Bare feet resting on cold tile, spring hiding in the grout lines. I lift a cup, condensation running down like quiet rain outside the window. 3 small stars pinned above the parking lane. This morning's crosswalk comes to mind, you standing on the other side. Traffic paused between our breaths, your eyes catching mine. No words, just the turning light from red to green again. But something brushed my shoulder blade and followed me home. Lemon water under starlight, silver circles in my hand. The night is small but wide enough to hold the way you glance. Lemon water under starlight, sugar sleeping on my tongue. If this is how the spring begins, it starts without a sound. 2 a.m. leans on my shoulders like a cardigan of air. I count the stars again, still 3, but now they feel like flares. My fingers trace the frosted glass as if it were your sleeve, cold against my warming skin, a quiet disbelief. The lemon turns in lazy circles, tapping porcelain sides like a clock that lost its hurry. Somewhere between our eyes, I taste the faint bright bitterness. It opens up my chest the way your gaze this afternoon left a window no promises, no names exchanged, just footsteps out of frame. Yet every time the fridge light clicks, it flickers like your flame. Lemon water under starlight, silver trembling in my hand. The night is small but brave enough to replay how you stand. Lemon water under starlight, gentle fire on my tongue. If this is how the spring arrives, it blooms in the unsung. Maybe you were washing your own glass in a kitchen lit the same. Maybe there's a humming fridge saying nothing of my name. I press my palm against the pane, cool constellations blur. The city breathes in quiet loops like finals tender whir. Winter lingers in the corners, but it's loosening its thread. I feel the season shifting from the lemon to my head. If I see you when the light turns red again on some small street, I'll carry this bright midnight folded in my heartbeat. Lemon water under starlight, silver steady in my hand. The night is small but kind enough to let new colors land. Lemon water under starlight, morning waiting to be born. If this is how the spring begins, I'll meet it at the dawn. Second Saturday, 2 a.m. 3 small stars and lemon skin. The glass is empty, sky still bright with what might happen next. Footsteps in a hollow hole. Morning leaning on the wall.
The day after cabs were thrown like birds, I wake before the sun. Curtains pale as winter milk, breathing in the dawn. Posters gone, just ghosted tape, still clinging to the paint. 4 years pressed in quiet squares of lighter, cleaner gray.
I push the window open wide, March air cuts and sings. Cold against my unwashed hair, sharp as silver strings. Dust we never used to see turns golden in the light, like every laugh at 2 a.m. suspended out of sight.
Yesterday the courtyard roared, names rising like a tide.
Now the hallway answers back with nothing left to hide. Empty dormitory dawn, sunlight on the floor. 4 years in a cardboard box by the half-closed door. Empty dormitory dawn, keys cold in my palm. Is this how a chapter ends? So quiet, so calm. The desk drawer sticks a little now, like it wants to keep ticket stubs and coffee carts, receipts from lack of sleep. An old ID with freshman eyes stares up from my hand. Hair too neat, a borrowed smile, a map not yet unplanned.
I run my thumb across the edge of plastic worn and thin. Remember standing in this room with suitcases and grin. Back then the walls were oceans wide, every knock a door. Now the echo of my steps feels taller than before.
Suitcase zipper closing slow, metal teeth align. Fear and spark in equal weight, resting in my spine. Empty dormitory door, sunlight on the floor. 4 years in a cardboard box, but I am something more. Empty dormitory door, keys warm in my palm. If this is how a chapter ends, it hums beneath the calm. What if the fear is just the wind rattling in the frame? What if the fear is just my name? Learning how to change.
The hallway smells of cleaning spray,
and someone else's style.
Shadow stretches past the door,
Longer than my heart.
We were freshmen made of question marks, ink still wet and bright. Now comma standing at the edge of unmarked morning light.
If walls could speak, they whisper low.
Go where you are drawn.
So I close the window, lift the box, and let the dust move on. Empty dormitory dawn, sunlight at my back. 4 years folded carefully inside a weathered pack. Empty dormitory dawn, door soft in its yawn. I turn the handle, step outside, and carry on. The room exhales behind me. The hallway fills with light. Empty dormitory dawn. Goodbye, good morning.
First Monday of March, lights spilling pale and thin. Cherry branches line the campus road, buds swollen tight like held backwards. Morning sun caught in the quiet skin, not yet pink, but almost there. I walk beneath their patient arms, winter coat folded over one shoulder. The breeze slips through my cotton shirt, cool fingers tracing my spine. A folded timetable in my hand, ink still sharp from yesterday's print. Room numbers circled in blue, like small promises waiting indoors in my ears. A drifting indie song, guitar notes falling soft as dust. Each step lands a little lighter on the stone path washed in gold. Students pass with steaming cups, breath rising faint in the air. The world feels paused between seasons, like a chord before it blooms. Before blossoms bloom, I'm standing here between bare branches in the start of spring, with a map of hours in my trembling hand, in a sky that hasn't chosen its color yet. Before blossoms bloom, everything leans forward. There's doorways, unopened books, like the hush before a stage light flickers on. I breathe in and let the morning begin. Lecture hall 302, third floor. Fluorescent lights hum low and steady. I slide into a wooden seat, carved initials pressed by years before. My backpack sighs against the floor, zipper teeth slightly misaligned. Inside a stack of brand new notebooks, pages crisp as untouched snow. I open one and lift it close, the scent of paper and fresh ink. Something about that quiet smell feels like rain before it falls. Outside the window, branches sway, still holding back that colored fire.
chalk tapping against the board. My pulse keeps gentle rhythm with a lo-fi in my ears. Before blossoms bloom, I'm seated here in a room that doesn't know my story yet, with a line of ink becoming who I'll be on paper bright and bare. Before blossoms bloom, I feel it gathered in the space behind my ribs, like petals practicing in secret for the day they open wide. Maybe beginnings are always quiet, hidden in ordinary air, in the rustle of a timetable, in the scrape of a classroom chair. The trees don't rush their color, they hold the sky a little longer, and I, beneath their breathing limbs, learn the art of almost. A melody loops soft and patient, somewhere between doubt and flame. Not yet chorus, not yet silence, just my name becoming my name. Before blossoms bloom, I'm walking out, light spilling warmer than before, with ink-stained fingers and a borrowed tune still echoing in my chest. Before blossoms bloom, I understand it's not the petals that make the spring, it's this quiet step, this open page, this fragile shining in between. Cherry branches overhead, buds trembling in silver light. I tuck the timetable in my bag and follow the slow bright wind. Before blossoms bloom, I am already becoming.
Soft vinyl crackle in the fading light. Orange spills across the riverside. We spread a blanket on the grass so white. March air breathing slow tonight. For Saturday of March, just before 7, sky melting down like watercolor heaven. Bicycle bells ringing silver and thin, laughter riding on the wind. Your sneakers kicked off by the picnic mat. Fried chicken sent in a paper bag. Fresh cut grass on our fingertips. Grease and salt on our lips. Bluetooth speaker humming low. An indie song we both know. Guitars drifting like paper planes. Overhand rivers, amber veins. You trace tomorrow in the air, with barbecue sauce on your hand. I watch the sun sink slow and swear this time we'll understand. Under this river sunset, we promise out loud, not just whispers we lose in a crowd. Let's really try, you say, and the words don't bend. They land like stones where the daylight ends. Golden water, don't let this fade. Hold our voices in the waves. Under this river sunset we stand, with the future sketched in sand. The sky turns lavender blue, street lights blinking into view. The grass feels cooler on my back, quiet settling in the dark. Cans half empty by our side, city humming like a tide. One small star above the bridge, balancing on the talk about the things we feared. Applications never cleared. Songs we wrote but never played. Plans we shelved and dreams delayed. Your voice softer than before. Bare feet brushing river shore. The night air tastes like something new, like courage breaking through. No more folding maps away. No more maybe someday. The first star flickers thin and bright, as if it signs our names tonight. Under this river sunset, we promise again, not just lines we write. And then the race when Monday comes around, we let them echo loud and sound. Golden water, keep this flame. Tie our fear to your orange frame. Under this river sunset, we stand with tomorrow in our hands. Lo-fi heartbeat steady and slow. Indie guitars begin to glow. City lights and firefly sparks threading silver through the dark. If doubt comes like the rising tide, we'll remember how we lied on our backs in open air, breathing fried chicken and river prayer. The sky once burned then turned to night. Still our words held on to light. Even when the colors go, the promise keeps its afterglow. Under this river sunset, we promise once more, more than we ever dared before. Let's really try beneath the stars. No ceiling now, no locked up bars. Golden water, witness this. Grass-stained hands and salty kiss. Under this river sunset, we stand. And watch our future expand. Stars scatter where the daylight fell. Blanket folded stories to tell. River dark but softly said, we keep our sunset promises yet. Last Wednesday of March, 5 a.m. Window slides open on silver rain. Cold air slips across my skin, carrying petrichor.
Streetlight trembling on soaked asphalt. Puddles holding pieces of gold. Bird song stitching up the dark. Thread by fragile thread,
I lace my shoes by the doorway you met. Your old hoodie on my back. Earphones hum with indie folk, a gentle waking chord.
remember when we raced the dawn.
Two shadows side by side.
Your laughter bouncing off the bridge
Before the city tried. At the dawn runner's pace we breathe in white. Clouds of air in the pale street light. Step by step on a mirrored road, carrying what we never told. At the dawn runner's pace we learn. Not every fire has to burn. Some dreams glow soft and slow in the rhythm only we dressed in rain, washed him in traffic lights, blinking amber eyes, watching me pass by. Your message still inside my phone, run even when you're alone. Letters blur like painted lines on this quiet incline.
I dodge the puddles small and wide,
Cold mist clinging to my stride,
breath rising in ghostly streams,
like unfinished dreams. The sky turns from ink to gray without asking me to stay. Every footfall on the ground writes a softer sound. At the dawn runner's pace I breathe in light, no finish line in sight. Step by step on a waking road, setting down the heavier load. At the dawn runner's pace I see how far these quiet miles can lead. Some dreams don't shout or chase, they wait within this pace. Lo-fi heartbeat in my ears, metronome of unshed tears, rain on strings and rubber soles, keeping time with hidden goals.
We were thunder once, I know, running fast to feel the glow, but morning teaches something new.
The sky turns white in shades of blue. Not every promise needs a race, some are kept by holding pace. In this hush before the day we find our separate ways. At the dawn runner's pace we ride, with silver streets and open skies. Breath by breath the night erased by steady hearts that will not haste. At the dawn runner's pace at last, no shadow from the past, just wet asphalt and open space, and the gift of our own pace.
Shoelaces damp, but I've come home.
In the quiet after rain we run and run again. Early March, the first spring rain, tapping softly on the cafe pane. I take the seat we used to share, second table by the stair. Americano in a white porcelain cup, steam once rising, now giving up. Your favorite jazz in muted gold, saxophone lines tender and old. Raindrops racing down the glass, like the nights we let time pass. Your reflection used to bloom in this small familiar room. I stir the coffee though it's cold, circle after circle rolled, sugar sinking to the ground, like the words we never found. Cold coffee by the window still, as if the world forgot to move. Spring outside is dressed in bloom, but winter lingers in this room. Cold coffee by the window, slow, your shadow in the overflow. petals fall on streets below. But here the frost won't go. Umbrellas drifting down the street, wet footsteps, steady beat. A navy blue one passes by, and my heart forgets the sky. Doorbell rings, I look up fast. Every silhouette you cast, but strangers shake their coats and stay while you remain away. My fingers trace the fogged up line where your hand once covered mine. Outside, cherry blossoms start opening without my heart. The rain has softened into mist, lipstick fading from my wrist, coffee bitter on my tongue, like the songs we left unsung. Jazz keeps playing low and thin, trumpet crying through the din. Every note a quiet thread, pulling what we never said. Cold coffee by the window, gray. The day you left still stains today. Spring is knocking at the door, but I don't answer anymore. Cold coffee by the window, deep promises the rain will keep. Flowers bloom and rivers flow, but I'm not ready yet to go. Rain writes letters on the glass, blurring faces as they pass. Lo-fi heartbeat, soft and tight, keeping time with neon light. Maybe seasons have their pace, even frost must leave a trace. Perhaps one day this porcelain cup will warm my waiting hands back up. The saxophone begins to fade, morning light in silver shade. I watch the last drop slowly fall and feel the thaw beneath it all. Cold coffee by the window, clear. The rain has washed the skyline near. Spring outside no longer hides, it waits with patient open skies. Cold coffee by the window now, I lift the cup somehow. Though winter stayed too long, I know even frozen hearts can thaw. Chair pushed back, the bill is paid. Rain light dancing on the pavement laid. The cup is empty, porcelain thin. A quiet warmth begins within.
Last week a March 4 a.m. Concrete stairs, no sleep again. Rooftop door with the rusted side opens to a cobalt sky. Neon signs still blinking slow, like they're not ready to let go. Cold air brushes my tired face, carrying your faint embrace. A few small stars above the blocks, hanging over silent docks. Street lights humming amber lines, tracing where your shadow shines. I pull the earphones from my coat, tangled wires around my throat. Press play on the band we knew, first guitar and I see you. Rooftop strings at dawn, they glow through the city down below. Every chord we used to sing turns the skyline in the spring. Rooftop strings at dawn, they stay stay, even as the night turns gray. In between the dark and morn, I hold the shape of what we were. Billboards flicker, taxis pass, wind moves lightly through the grass on neighboring roofs. Laundry sways like quiet flags of other days. Your laughter once lived up here, shared from one cheap can of beer. We counted planes like falling sparks, leaving trails across the dark. Now the city feels too wide, with only one set of footsteps stride. I taste the metal in the air, and your name still resting there. Far away, the first train cries, silver cutting through the skies. Morning stretching pale and thin, where your hand once fit in mine. The synth line bends, the rhythm slow, like footsteps learning how to go. Each note warmer than before, yet sharper than the cold rooftop floor. Rooftop strings at dawn, they rise, painting gold on glass and eyes. Every riff we held so tight echoes through the fading night. Rooftop strings at dawn, I see spring grows clear without you and me. As petals fall and seasons form, the truth wakes up with every horn. City pop, heartbeat under skin, lo-fi dust on violin. The skies unfold in shades of pink and chrome and gold. Maybe love is like this view, brilliant, brief and always new. It lights the dark, then slips away, but leaves a warmth that wants to stay. The train runs steady on its line, the sun climbs up on borrowed time. And though your voice is not my own, the morning says I'm not alone. Rooftop strings at dawn, they fade into daylight softly made. Every chord now drifting far, like the memory of your car. Rooftop strings at dawn, I breathe cold air filling up my chest. Spring is clearer than I'd sworn, and I step down from what we were. Neon signs finally go dark, sunlight warming steel and spark. Earphones silent, sky reborn. Rooftop strings at dawn.